Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Gautam's Cooking Adventures. In this episode, we'll walk you through the steps to make Semiya Bath, also known as Vermicelli Bath or sometimes as Semiya Biryani. This is usually made in the form of a Pulao or Brinji style and originates in South India. Many versions that are made across all the different states in South India. Makes for a wonderful breakfast, completely wholesome, has all the components you need. We're going to show you how we make this in our homes. This is a list of all the ingredients you'll require to make this. As always, you will find a copy of the ingredients list in the description below this video. Please like this channel, subscribe to it, and click on the bell icon to be notified all future episodes. Thank you. To make the Semiya Bath, we're going to take a nice large dish. In this case, we're taking a big wok. Preferably something like a wok or a kadai would be perfect. Put it on a stove on high heat and now add the coconut oil. You can of course substitute coconut oil with vegetable oil if you like. In our homes we preferably like to use coconut oil for most of our cooking where possible. Once the oil is nice and hot, we can start the cooking itself. Starting with the dry spices, the cinnamon, the cardamom and the cloves. Typically you want to give the the cloves a little, the cardamoms a little bit of a quick press or just break it open like shown. Allows the flavors to be released into nice hot oil, which ultimately will flavor the entire product that we're going to make. Add some nicely chopped ginger and the nicely chopped chilies into it and let them fry for just a few seconds. Now add in the finely sliced onions. It's important that the onions are nice and finely sliced so that they cook and they blend well into the bath, the Semiya Bath. What we're going to do now is allow this to cook for a little while. We want the onions to brown and so we're going to let that cook. It takes about 5 to 6 minutes, maybe even up to 7 or 8 minutes. We're adding a little bit of salt into the mix. It helps to speed up the cooking and allowing the onion to sweat. So that's just a tip over here, just to make it faster. Now throughout the video we will be telling you how much time it will take to cook certain portions, but we will speed up the video just to save some time, as in this case. Once the onion has cooked down and started to get translucent, we're adding the curry leaves into it, letting the curry leaves cook in the oil as well. Allow the flavor to go into the oils. The total time to cook this meal is about 45 to 46 minutes, but for purpose of this video we are speeding up the video in parts to make it shorter. The onions have started to turn slightly brown, and this is at this point of time when we add the potatoes into it. What we're going to do is allow the potatoes to cook also in the oil for a bit till it's partially cooked. The oil helps to keep the potato as a whole piece because it forms a small coating around it, gives it a little bit of a harder outer coat. We'll cook it now for a short while, for about 4 or 5 minutes with the cover on. This helps to ensure that the moisture is kept within itself and the potato will cook well. Occasionally check on the potatoes, check on the mixture, give it a quick swirl and put the cover back on. This is very much like making a Semiya upma, excepting that we're now going to be adding vegetables into it, and it makes it more of a wholesome meal. Checking on the potatoes just to make sure that it's breakable, still a little hard but not soft, completely soft. So this is the point at which we want to now start adding the rest of the vegetables into it. The potato is just about half cooked to maybe 1/3 cooked. Now amongst all of these vegetables, the one that takes the longest to cook is the bean. So once we have given it a nice swirl and we have mixed it up, we're going to add some water into this and allow it to cook, bring it to a nice boil and cook till the beans are cooked properly. Now the initial frying process helps to also ensure that all of these vegetables get a slight coating, a slightly outer coating that will keep them as a whole so they don't break up when we are cooking them later. Now that check was just to see how much the bean is cooked as it is in the oil that is being cooked in. And now that it's gone a little soft is when we add the water into it. Typically the ratio is a 1:1 ratio, 1:1 ratio of water to the Semiya or the vermicelli. In our case, we like to cook the vermicelli softer than normal. My father has a problem with eating things that are not soft, so which is why we make this softer. So we are using 4 cups in this instance. But for your own cooking, you can practically just use the equivalent volume of water to the vermicelli that you're adding to it. We'll close this and keep it now covered for a little while. It's going to cook for about 7 minutes now. But do check every now and then to ensure that you mix it nicely so the vegetables mix well and all of the vegetables are cooking equally. I suggest checking every 3 minutes. We're going to do a quick check again on the vegetables, making sure that the bean has cooked properly. Like I said, the beans are always the ones that take the longest to cook. Now at this point of time, check the salt and add what you need. Remember that you're going to be adding vermicelli later on when you're cooking in this mix of water and vegetables. So you want it to have a slightly extra salty taste at this point of time. The vermicelli will absorb some of the salt, and so it's important that you ensure that you mix the right amount of salt at this point of time. Later on, adding salt after it's cooked is a little more difficult. It's a fine balance, so please be careful. We're adding the vermicelli into this. We're now going to mix it well and then cook it for a short while again with the lid on, but we will keep checking in between to ensure that the vegetables are mixing into the vermicelli. Now as the vermicelli cooks, it will start to bloat a little bit. It will become almost twice its size in terms of the width, and so as it's bloating, you want the vegetables to kind of cook, be blended into it. Again, we suggest checking every 3 minutes. We've reached that point where the vermicelli is fairly well cooked. The vegetables are nicely blended in. What we want now to do is to lose the water. Now through this process, vermicelli will continue to keep cooking, but it will start losing its water, and we wanted to bring it down, reduce the water down to a point where we want that right consistency for the vermicelli. This could take anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes depending on how much water you've added into this. In our case, because we've added more water, it'll take about 6 to 7 minutes. If you just added the 1:1, it's probably about a 3-minute cycle. Once we've reached that level of consistency or reduction of water level that we want, we will add the ghee to flavor it. Ghee, as you know, does a wonderful job of flavoring most foods, and this is what we are doing at this point of time, is adding that ghee. Now the ghee also adds to lubricate the individual strings of the vermicelli and thereby allow it to separate more easily. Now some people, I personally like my vermicelli sometimes to catch in the bottom. Effectively, it gets a little more drier in the bottom. It's your choice. The ideal way to do it is not allow it to catch. Lemon juice is added as a final ingredient. This basically gives it just that little bit of tang to give it that pulao or biryani taste. Now, unlike a regular biryani where we would have used pudina or mint, we are not using that here because we're making it more like a pulao style. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Look forward to any suggestions or comments from you, and please do keep supporting us. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the like button, and do press the bell icon so that you can be notified of all our future episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.